Regretfully, the 1900 project has remained dormant for the last 2 years, and as you can see, I'm actually going to give it some attention. More specifically, rubbing it down and polishing it, and I'm going to see. I am not at all sponsoring this. I would if they would sponsor me, however, but I want to try that. And so far, I know it works because I've shined up my 316 with it, and it made the paint to where I can actually see myself, and it's reflective. So that's obviously not reflective whatsoever. Can't see my hand or anything, just a shadow. So I'm going to wipe it down with this, knock all the dust and stuff off, give it a good scrub down, put some pressure on it, basically saying knock everything off, and then we're going to slap some flitzes on it and see what happens. Right, so that was a quick few minutes or so. I basically, like I said, I wiped it down, tried not to get the decals because, well, what's left of them at least. I scrubbed this part down, threw a bit on there, and wow, has that made a difference. Like, massively. That stuff just, there's a slight I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a slight reflection. There you go, right there. And I'm gonna come down there. Look at that. That stuff's gonna lighten this thing's day up just fine. Okay, coming outside. Shined all the way up and down as best as I can. The only spots I didn't get were right where the decal is, because I'm trying to avoid tearing up it as much as I can. So I'll go ahead and pop a picture of the early style decal. You probably can't tell, but this Oliver 1900, the 4-digit decal here, had an early and a later style. This is the later style. The earlier style had a bit more of an italicized font there where it says Oliver. The shield down there is a little bit different outlining, a little bit different shade of color, orange I think. And then I'm gonna guess that diesel decal was either white, black, or reflective. But judging from it, it's probably either white or black. Regardless, the decals did have a bit of a change in years. 60 had or a certain style, and then 61 had this style. So, you know, as much time as I spent yakking on about it, there is a difference. And honestly, I wanted to show you. So, I'm gonna go ahead and toss that down there. I'm going to go get the other one out of there, and I'm going to show you the difference. This sheet metal is actually really straight. There's a ding up there, right here. Something hit it at some point, and then it is a little bent out of shape in some spots, like where the two conjoining panels are there. It is a little tweaked, but you could just give it a little pressure and bend it back. That panel's in even better shape. Honestly, it's straight as an arrow. I see nothing wrong with it. The only thing it needs is polished and maybe some new decals. Well, you know how I was talking about how this thing had straight sheet metal? I'm going to take that and double that statement if I could. This hood is perfect. And I mean absolutely perfect. The only thing it doesn't have is the fuel tank grommet, the rubber grommet that sits around there. I think it had one of those. It should have one of those. The 50 series do, I know that. It still has the factory ones from the air intakes there. I'm going to guess the exhaust one had one. Although that strikes me as odd that it would have one. I don't think it should though. And then the radiator hole is perfect. Something that is just drop dead uncommon right here. But this front area right here where it bolts in, every Oliver 50 series enthusiast, and quite frankly, I'm kind of sad a couple of my buddies from Half Century of Progress don't watch this because, well, KLS 1724, he would like seeing this. This sheet metal has never been messed with before. This is the factory sheet metal holes. And every 50 series I've seen has those rotted out. The 1850 has them gone. Basically right here, this chunk of metal is always missing, or this is deformed. It is a little right there, but a little hammer time could get that straightened perfectly. The other side's just in the exact same condition. I mean, it still has the battery box even. It does have a little bit of a blemish there from when I think the muffler bent over on it. But other than that, it's okay. I think it did have a cab on it at one point. Battery box is there. Decals there. Pick it up. Yeah. That notch is good. That one's good. It looks factory to me. It looks like it's never been messed with before. There are a couple lips right there from where I think it's been hit, but other than that, that's about all right. I think this is probably the perfect example of a 4-digit Detroit hood that I've ever seen. Okay, so this thing turned out more like polishing a turd. But then again, this is about what I expected because the sheet metal is actually shiny. But of course, the patina is still there. I wish it didn't have this much down here, but if you want to get rid of that, you got to kind of get a nice wire wheel and, well, take it off and then repaint it, which is not something I want to do. I did finish the sheet metal, but I never finished filming it. It looks really good, but we'll just have to see whenever it goes on the tractor, and it may get polished once more with something better. Hopefully I can get a drill and a buffing pad and really go at it, but, you know, what can you do?